So, aloha, this is John, and today I'm here with Teresa Blanding. And this series is sort of in response to an ongoing conversation from so many of my students, at least, and also from Teresa's end, that people would like to be a fly on the wall while we're talking. Guys, we're going to just lay out what we see about human design. And this is our perspective. I've been someone that's been deeply involved in the experimentation and self-verification of this process for roughly the last 18 years, been teaching full time. Teresa also has, from a totally different perspective, been in her research and development world. And she really is the mad scientist, where I'm the let's just jump off the mountain and see what happens guy. So we have very different perspectives coming at this. Somewhere around 5 years ago, and Teresa will laugh because I'm suspicious and don't trust anything. But basically I was really starting to distrust the personality at every level. And when I finally said, look, the personality is the instrument of the not self. Is this not common knowledge? And everybody thought that was revolutionary. I was shocked. Meanwhile, Teresa was verifying, why I didn't trust the personality. So on that note, I will let her introduce what her living as self has brought her to.
Hello, this is Teresa here with John. And yeah, after, for myself, it's like 22 years of this, looking at it from, I guess, every angle, but really as the manifesting generator that I am, and a 3-5, I'm like, taking it apart completely. and of course, I'm always referring to my own design, because for me, the beauty of this system, and I always used to say, and I actually still believe this, is that it answers all the questions. It does have, it truly is this description of the Maya and of the illusion. Mm-hmm. But that being said, it's like all truth. I was thinking about this before, we were talking, and it's like this whole thing around the truth that you can always associate is this thing about obscuration. Mm-hmm. And so that the truth has generally been pretty obscure and hard to find. And that's really because, generally speaking, people that had the truth were in great danger. And, all you have to do is, go back in history and see what we've done to a lot of people that brought the truth that nobody wanted to accept at the time, right? And so I believe that, in human design, I believe in any of these things, there's lots of misinformation. I was there for many of these lectures of Ra. He made mistakes. He put the wrong numbers in places. There was always something about it that made me want to kind of, I guess, synthesize it in a different way. And to me, the one thing that he never stopped saying, and I think is at the heart of all of this, is that I needed to synthesize it for myself. And to see it truly, especially as a generator, we're here to know ourselves. It's like, that my response tells me everything. So what is that really for me as this unique human being? And so I've been working with it, and had the great pleasure to meet up with John a number of years ago. I had seen his videos. You can see my first video I did with him, where I just said he was such a crazy guy. And I'm a crazy girl. And so we've just gotten along like really well. And so we just keep having, these conversations from these different perspectives that I believe help both of us live more directly as self. And so we are letting you be a fly on the wall.
Yeah. And much of what we say is going to contradict even what is still being taught as the end all be all of human design. And it's really just that simple, guys. I mean, you're going to find your own truth here, or you're going to find no truth at all. So if you're looking out there, you're already lost, guys. It's all in there. It's in you. So if you can't self-verify that, this whole experiment is really pointless. I mean, it just becomes another belief system. You believe you're doing your human design because you think you know something about it. And welcome back to your personality being part of your not self, if we're going to use that terminology today. I've more and more just been going to the entity that thinks it's doing something, you know. So that's where we're starting, guys. That your body's flying through space, and if you think you're doing any of this, you've already missed the point. And if you don't think you're the coolest human in the universe, per you, then you're probably not doing it right. You know, there can be up days and down days for sure. Please, Teresa.
And it's not even about that you're not doing it right. You're not seeing what really is going on. I think that's our point here.
Yes.
Is that it is about seeing what's really going on. And Ra never stopped saying, I mean, he would give these intro talks, right? And where he always started, and I guess that's where we always start, is don't believe us, don't believe John, don't believe Teresa. Prove this for yourself, and you prove it for yourself by being able to see yourself in your life. Okay, this is what John calls self-verification. This is why we're calling this living as self, because that is the unique human being that you happen to be. And if you can really get into the right space, which means you get to see yourself in your life, in the movie, it's incredibly revealing. It's incredibly it has all elements, okay? It's better than anything you're ever going to see on the screen. And we know how much shit is on the screen at this point. So that's what we're about. And if you would like to join us and be a fly on the wall, John will do, he's going to do the technical end of this and put it so that's possible for you. And, all you have to do is, be part of the Unleashed community. Yeah. And we'll see you there.
Yeah. Okay. And what else would we like to say today? I mean, really, Teresa. I mean, this has been an ongoing discussion for us. I know how much we have to share. I know how much experience, and I really do love the analogy that I've been your research and development, and I've been your crash test dummy. but all of my students have been my crash test dummies. And Cindy, I mean, look, at this point, I'm so identified with my function as a projector, okay? Mm-hmm. Really not identified with John anymore. I mean, I keep the name in honor of the dude I had to kill to get here. And as Teresa pointed out very, very early on, yes, if you believe anything I'm saying, that's not the point. But had somebody tried to tell me I'm some cosmic wizard that could reach out through space and tap right into people's life force and bypass their mind, I mean, my God, dude, I mean, what kind of mad trip would that have put me on? But that's what I've come to, guys. That's how it works. I mean, I don't know how it works. I see that it does. Do you understand the difference? I don't know what John's going to do in 30 seconds, much less do I have a plan for anything else. Like Teresa said, he's going to do something with this. we don't know what we're going to do with this yet.
Well, and I guess what I would say, and that this is really, the foundation of our camaraderie, is that it's really clear for both of us that we're not doing anything, okay? Life is doing all of this. Life has more imagination than we do, and that's the whole point of being able to actually be in your life, living as yourself, and getting to witness your frequency as part of this whole totality. And you know, we can get mystical and we can go deep, and but the truth of the matter is at least from my perspective, everything that I'm saying is for me, not for anybody else. Okay. And if you get something out of what I say, well, you know, lucky for you.
Yeah, good
But for
you.
me, and that's why John and I talk to each other, because we actually have this opportunity to share our outer authority. And that outer authority in its simplest form to me is that you are living yourself, living in your life, and you actually have something to say because that's what you're seeing and that's what you're talking about. And so, you know, it gets to be kind of a lonely process because most people are just repeating the blah, blah, blah that they either read in a book or they heard somebody say, and it's got nothing to do with the reality, which is what we're talking about here. What is real? The self is real, the body is real. There is something to see, and if you're not in the moment, okay, present in your body, you really got nothing to say. And you know, this is that universal truth that's been around for forever. The difference is, I think, at this point, is this is a roadmap. This does have road signs for you to actually, once you start to see yourself and your life, you know, this answers a lot of the questions that you might have. But
Mhm.
it all starts from the inside out, and so John and I have a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. And quite honestly, Teresa is the only human on the planet at this point that I will talk about human design at this level with. Period, guys. Period. Everyone else just seems like they're talking to, either I don't get them, they don't get me, or whatever. That's fine. But honestly, there's just, yeah, it is a bit lonely to find yourself, you know, standing on a mountain all by yourself and going, whoa, this is trippy. Um, but the frequency becomes very obvious. It is a refinement of your own art. You know, if I, you know, it's not like I do everything perfectly every day, but you know, I mean, life keeps me on course now. I mean, I can feel the slightest, you know, bobble in my bubble. It's like, no, you're off frequency. You're out of frequency. Something's off, you know? So, I mean, guys, we're just flying through space and waking up to that fact and waking up to you're not in charge of any of this. Like, well, you know, is that really what you're looking for? Are you still looking for a better job and a better life or whatever? Or do you not get that it's already perfect? You know, this is the discussion I want to have. It's like, yeah, I mean, Ross said a lot of stuff, and I edit a lot at this point, but you know, not that it would do any good. But yeah, so we're going to have these discussions, and if you like what we're saying and it empowers you or helps you in any way, great. If you don't like what we're saying, get out of here.
It's as simple as that.
Beat it. Of course, we're not telling you what you want to hear. But has any mystic on the planet ever said what anybody wanted to hear? You know, I mean, I think that was what Teresa's pointing at. Is like, hey, you're not doing any of this. It doesn't sell well on the brochure. Um, and the fact that none of that, what we, you know, call the false self or the not self in human design, I mean, guys, it hasn't gone anywhere. I'm just much more aware of it. And this is where I joke, yeah, I want all my money back from human design. This stuff didn't go away. I just quit listening to it. Now I'm very aware of my stupidity. Is that's a different thing than improving or being better, and this whole awareness thing of getting to a point of not knowing where choice begins or ends, if there's any at all. That was a surprise in the movie for me, guys. I didn't come from a mystical background. I didn't come from a spiritual background. I wasn't looking for any of this. I followed my body, my mind dissolved. And any illusion that I had any control over this life dissolved right along with it. So I guess that's really our discussion, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, no, we wanted to, we wanted to kind of set forth, an introduction to what we're about here
mhm.
before, we kind of, get into the meat of things. And we can guarantee we don't know where we're going
Yes,
because we never do when we start to talk to each other.
right.
But it's always a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
and it is this great yin yang. I mean, we definitely have, I think, a very interesting connection, in that sense that um, I'm like I say, I think especially as a 3-5, that 5, I'm just looking for the universal truth that's like really simple, but I actually don't have a great ability to express that to most people. But that there's something about, talking to you, John, from this level of madness that I have as I, you know, continue to sort through all of this, that resonates with you. And then you have this great ability to just, simplify it and, put it out in a way that, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, that's it. But, don't anybody bother me. Just, listen to John, right? But that John, John in and again at this energetic, frequency is one of the few people that has been able to lure this, this fifth line body out to talk and to be videotaped. And now, we're just doing this without the video because we don't have to see each other. We just talk to each other. And
Right.
and so, he's the one that I talk to when I come up with these things, and I'm like trying to, first I validate it for myself, and then usually I talk to John, and John like either thinks I'm full of it or he's got, maybe that's right, Teresa, and then he validates it some more, and
Mm.
uh, but it's all really coming from this, like I say, our motivation to live as self, to I guess share, support, and empower as self. That all of us have all of those capabilities, and
Mm.
some are more pronounced than others. But as human beings, we are here to share, we are here to support, and we are here to empower. And the only way that you actually do that is as this clear outer self, outer authority, your self speaking. So that's really, our intention
Mhm.
for these conversations. And
Mhm.
so, if it's something that does something to you, well, join in. Like I say, join the Unleashed community, and as we put these things out, you'll get to get an earful. Get an
Yeah.
earful.
Our request of a shameless $20 a month.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So
our big request. Throw
yeah,
us a
the
few,
big
a few
request.
bucks because our time is worth something, guys. And
That's right.
it's worth so much you couldn't pay for it. But we're real and we're here in the matrix, and we're showing up for people that really want us. And yes, I was giggling last night, Teresa. Poor Teresa. She wouldn't have anything to do with the collective if it wasn't Randy before me, the late great Randy, and then me dragging her out into the collective. I mean, she couldn't care less. They're like, well, I want to see what Teresa's sharing with you. No, you don't. She sends me PDF. I'm like, oh God, what's my homework now? But honestly, she's the only person that has anything of any value. She's the only one showing up that has anything of any value for me at this point in this experiment. And her latest discovery is, and honestly, my whole splenic body is lighting up. I mean, what she verified, I'm over here, I don't trust the personality, I don't trust it. She's like, yeah, because it's all about this, and Rob went off on that. And I was like, oh, thank God, no wonder. So thank you for all your dedication and research and development side. And um, I will continue to not trust anything, I'm sure, but that's just the dilemma of being me,
Yeah, that's, you
Yeah,
know, this is this true deep acceptance of
yeah,
self. I mean, to live as self, you have to accept yourself, okay? And
yeah,
and again, for me, the beauty of this system, the beauty of this map is that it's signposts, okay? We don't tell anybody who they are, okay? That's what really our bottom line is. You got to find that out for yourself, okay? But there are pointers there, that's what this system was about. And that, it can be very a lot of it is very obscure. A lot of it, I think, is just misinformation. I think it's like the truth has always been, and you got to sort it out for yourself. So hopefully, these conversations, I know I'm looking forward to them because always when I talk to John, things become clear for me. There's just this great interaction between us, and so, we're happy to share that. But really, we're doing this, well, especially I'm doing it. I'm a 3-5. I mean, I just do this for myself anyway. Poor John, he's collective, he's transpersonal. It's really, but that's his cross, I mean, we
yeah,
all have our thing, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's part of what I think really makes this, quite a conversation with great breadth because of our differences, that he's a projector and I'm a manifesting generator, and I have this emotional definition and he's planning. I mean, you couldn't get, two people that are less alike, I guess,
hmm
there are real differences. And because of that position in space and that particular view that each of us have, it's kind of fascinating to really talk to each other and to have the same language, because there's definitely going to be some technical language here, excuse me, that we're not necessarily explaining, and we're not putting this out as education. Okay, this is the disclaimer. This is our opinion. It's coming from our view. Take it as you would like, but it will be fun.
yes.
Okay.
It will be fun, and we will see what happens next.
Yes.
Aloha.